Here we have the 30-minute price chart for AMC Entertainment Holdings Incorporated, stock ticker AMC. Here we can see that we are starting to see some upward spikes in price movement following the kind of sideways to downward trading activity that was being seen previously. This is an encouraging sign given the broader picture here. There are a few things that we need to point out as far as potential uptrend price movements and things like that, and whether or not this current uptrend is likely to continue. There are a few questions here that really do need to be answered. The first thing that I want to point to would be the fact that we have now broken above this downtrend line, which was developing, really began developing on the 8th of July. When prices reached highs of $5.73. In the prior video, I did kind of point to this downward trend line as being critical as far as determining whether or not we're likely to see a true top in place at this roughly 575 level. And as we can see here, we're now starting to see breaks above this level with some periodic closes above here as well. So, at least on the 30-minute price chart, I mean, we haven't seen like a daily close above here or anything like that. But we're seeing some shorter term, evidence that this is really a valid trend line break here, and that this downtrend, this sort of near-term downtrend, has really run its course. Overall, as you can see here, we were forming a bit of a descending triangle pattern here, where we've got kind of a flat base and then an upward downtrend line that's sort of containing price action. But we have officially broken through this chart pattern, and as we can see here, this was an upside price break rather than a downside price break. This could easily have happened in the other direction. We could have seen the support zone give way at 515. This would have been a critical break to the downside because we do have, it's really kind of a triple bottom kind of formation here, in addition to the descending triangle chart pattern. And then in addition to that, you also have this rising 200 period exponential moving average on the 30-minute chart. So, a downside break of this 515 mark would have been a fairly significant warning signal here. This would have suggested that a top is likely in place, and that downside selling pressure was likely to continue. However, this was not the general bias. If you listen to the prior video, you'll see that we were expecting to see an upside break here because there were a few different reasons for this. One would be the fact that we were breaking above this exponential moving average cluster. These colorful lines here are moving averages, and we had broken above these levels. In addition to the fact that the momentum readings in the relative strength index had been showing some evidence of downtrend activity and bearish trading momentum, but this trend had officially broken. I mean, we have seen, a fairly clear break here to the top side. So if we're looking at the indicator readings, the longer term trajectory here does continue to be positive. This is a very significant uptrend in momentum here. It's been going on for a very long time. And this is really what caused us to call the official price low here. This would have been roughly 435, just above 430. For the trading activity here to the downside, and that was a significant price movement. It was a significant reversal because prior to this, we were seeing a large amount of selling pressure, in addition to a double top formation, which had formed at roughly 550. So, we did really call the bottom here. You can look at the prior videos and see that we were looking at these higher lows. There was a bullish divergence in the indicator reading. There were several technical signals here that did kind of lead us to believe that we were forming a bottom here, and this has continued. So what we're still looking at here is this uptrend price movement in the relative strength index, which continues to remain valid. I mean, this is a very long period of time here for this uptrend in share price momentum to remain consistent and valid. So these are all positive signals here. We could start to test this level relatively soon if we do start to see some sort of sideways trading activity here. We could start to put some pressure on this uptrend. And that would suggest, that would be a bit of a warning signal if we did see this break, but we're not there yet, and we do have some. We could actually fall some distance without breaking this trend line. So some near term declines here wouldn't be much of a concern just yet. I mean, we would really need to see the relative strength index probably break below the 37 level before we could start to expect some emerging downside momentum to start to take more control in the market. Currently, this descending triangle pattern is the significant price pattern, and it is now breaking. We are starting to kind of move back into this moving average cluster a bit. That can be a bit of a warning sign because once you fall into this moving average cluster, it can be difficult to get out of it. Prices will often kind of ping pong their way through here, and it might be kind of difficult to break out of these types of formations. So you really don't want to see prices kind of fall back into these moving averages. Um, but overall, this price pattern has now broken, and the break here was positive. So, the negative scenario would have been a break of 515. We didn't see that. Instead, we're posting new highs of this would be $5.54. So, this might not seem like a significant movement higher here today. If you look at some of the other YouTube videos that are saying that, we're in the third phase of the moon, Mercury is in retrograde, and this is the last time this happened. AMC short squeezed, and these dumb projections that really don't mean anything at all. If you're watching those videos, this type of price action might not seem very very interesting or exciting. But what you have to remember is that those other projections in the other YouTube videos never come true. Like literally never. They're wrong every time. They post something every day, and they're somehow wrong every day. So. Um, this is the type of price action you actually need to be watching because, this is the way that you kind of identify where short sellers are likely to be camped. Where would you, if you were a short seller, where would you be establishing your short positions? And when we're looking at this chart, what's most important to note here is the fact that if you were a short seller, just imagine yourself as one for a moment. Where would you set your trades? And the reality is that you're continuing to have to take steps backward here. You're continuing to have to retreat to higher and higher prices in order to establish these positions. So, these short-term trend, price pattern breaks might seem insignificant. They might not seem very exciting. But the only reason that's the case is because you've got so many of these other idiotic, YouTubers. I could name some names. I think it's fairly obvious who I'm talking about who kind of suggest that a short squeeze is coming tomorrow, and they say this every day. I mean, it's hilarious how stupid they are. Um, but this is the actual price action that you really need to be watching, and you need to imagine where you would be as a short seller. Where would you start to establish your positions? The current price highs come in at 574. But we're kind of grinding our way through here, and as long as we can stay above this exponential moving average cluster, this area should start to come under attack here relatively soon. So here's the current market outlook for AMC Entertainment Holdings Incorporated, stock ticker AMC.